a video on these. So I have been drying out orange slices for a little while now. Every time I've used the zest of an orange, I have been saving the inside and then slicing it and drying it in different kind of ways. There's some videos. And I was just, because what I wanted to do was I didn't want to just juice them. I wanted to see if I could actually use, once I've made these, once I kind of tasted them, they tasted a little bit like sweets, like candy type of thing. Quite sweet, a little bit of a sharpness to them, quite an interesting kind of flavour. But dehydrating and then kind of storing them for later kind of use. I've got quite a lot now. And my plan was that I would use them in a like a rich fruit cake, but that's what I'm gonna do. But I'm just gonna use these in a fruit cake. I went out walking today and I did have a thought that maybe we could put them in layers or leave them whole like that in the cake. But I think that might just be a little bit too much of a faff. But that could potentially be something we do on a later date. We'll kind of see how it kind of works. Now, normally in these loaf tins, it's a 3-egg cake mixture that I use, and the 3-egg cake mixture for a rich fruit cake is about 1.5 pounds of dried fruit. So obviously these aren't going to weigh 1.5 pounds. We should really weigh them, shouldn't we? Yes, we'll weigh them. These aren't going to weigh 1.5 pounds. So we'll go on volume. So what I did was I put the dried fruit in a container, 1.5 pounds worth of dried fruit, and we're going to go on volume. So that comes up to about 1 litre. Well, we're mixing weights here, but that comes up to about 1 litre worth of volume on there. So we kind of need 1 litre's worth of volume of these orange slices. So it weighs, for the purpose of this cake, it weighs just short of 9 ounces. So that's way under what that weighs. But it's about volume. It's not about weight, it's about volume. So I'm going to make two rich fruit Christmas cakes, and I'm just going to use, I've got some sultanas I need to use up. So that's going to go in the second one. This is going in the first one. So I've got a few more that have just started to, the slightly darker ones that slightly burnt, which I did turn into orange bitters, which is delicious. There's a video on that. I can't do a link, but there's someone down the bottom. So if there's not just quite enough volume in there, we can always add a few more. So that one might as well go in as well, and then that into there. They're going to break up because they're quite brittle, but I'm not really that bothered about that. It's a bit like making a cornflake bun. So we'll see how this works. So layering them might be just too much of a tedious job, so I don't think I'm going to do that. I think this is much better. There will be another bit at the end of the video of drying out segments rather than skinning oranges and then slicing them and then drying them. So, but that'll be at the end of the video. That might be a different video. I just kind of thought, if we can, no one's going to do this. No one's ever going to dehydrate these orange slices in this kind of way. So that looks alright, isn't it? So no one's kind of going to do that. So I kind of thought about buying mandarin orange segments and drying those out in the same way and see if you could get similar type of result. But that will be at the end of this video rather than at the start. So what does it taste like? Nice. So by using all these in this, it's going to be kind of quite intense, but essentially, say if you're making a lot of, I don't know if this is going to work. Say if you were making a lot of candied peel, you could take out the hearts of the oranges and dry them out this way. So I think we'll have to smash this down a bit. We'll see how it turns out. It might be, might not entirely work. The cake mixture might want to fall to the bottom of the container, and then, oh no, but it might rise up. We'll see. We'll see how it works out. So, I've left this too late to do, really. I want to go swimming. I'll have to get off soon. But anyway, so you get the idea. And then the other cake will just be the sultanas. It's supposed to be mixes of fruit, but I don't want to use up any of the other dried fruit that I've got. So that in there, cover it with a bit of greaseproof paper, baking parchment, and then we'll stick it in the oven 150 for about 3 hours, something like that. But the recipe and stuff will be in the description. So, same volume of fruit in sultanas, but that's come up further in the cake mixture, further up in the loaf tin. So, I don't know what's happened there, I don't know why, but probably because it's crunched down and smashed them all up to bits a little bit more. But anyway, we'll see what it turns out. They've had about 3 hours, let's have a look. Take that out of the way. Oh, there we go. So, oven off. I'm sure that's the raisin one. I'm sure that's the orange one. So we'll just, I'm not using the temp, I'm not checking the temperature, I'm just seeing if it comes out clean. Yeah, it comes out clean, and it's warm to the touch as well. So those are cooked. We'll let them cool, and then we'll see what they're like. It looks like the oranges caramelised on top, which is kind of quite interesting. But we'll have a look at that tomorrow when it cools. It's maybe too late tonight though, to cut into it. It looks good. Looks good. We'll see if I actually need to put more volume in that one in the recipe. You know. Don't get it just quite right, but we'll see. We'll see what it turns out when we cut into it tomorrow. Right, so we're cooled. It's actually the next day because I baked them last night and then had things to do today. So I'll let them cool overnight and then I put them in the in an airtight container. This one feels a lot lighter than that one, but that's down to the fact that we put less weight in, didn't we? So. I wasn't going to cut into this one, but we'll cut into this one as well, and we're going to see what it's like inside. Just using the sultanas, the cheapest dried fruit I could get my hands on. So let's have a look. It looks like it's caramelised on the outside. Hopefully, it's just caramelised on the outside, and it's not caramelised on the inside. It feels a bit dry. Like the oranges sucked all the... Oh, that's interesting. Like the oranges sucked all the moisture out of the cake. Let's cut into this one. Yes, that's good. That's good with sultanas, isn't it? Very dark. They're always better after a month in a airtight container. Nice. So, a bit dark and a bit dry. A bit dark and a bit dry. And you can kind of Maybe it's just on the outside. Let's take another slice. That's a bit better. Yeah, it's caramelised on the outside. I think it stands for the concentration of the sugars. Oh. A bit dry. It's going to keep well. I think you'll be able to put dehydrated orange into a mixed fruit cake, but all by itself, not so kind of good. I might try it with like a normal cake, like rich fruit cakes. Cook them for 3 hours. But like a normal cake, 40 minutes, something like that. So it might work in a normal cake. But yeah, if you've got it to bulk out a cake, I think it would work. But not all by itself. It's a little bit too dark. And a little bit too dry. But anyway, I'm still going to eat it. And it'll probably be better in a month's time. So, as long as we're learning, this is me kind of not admitting failure. So it's kind of a bit of a failure. But we take a lesson from it. And if we don't try, we don't know. As soon as we stop, so I will have some more of those oranges, and I will use them in a fruitcake at some point, and I will make a video on it. And so you only fail when you give up. So I'm going to think about it and attack it from another angle, and then we'll it will probably work very well. But I don't like waste. I kind of think anything that we put in the bin or on the compost, we need to extract all flavour and money out of it before we throw it away. And I think that's the same with everything. Anything that you put in the bin, you should be able to have used it as many times as possible, extracted as much money out of it as possible, or used it to save yourself some money as much as possible. So the idea that they would just take the insides of the oranges and juice them and drink it, it's all very well, but I don't always want to drink orange juice. So to do something different with them, kind of is interesting, and to have them dried in the cupboard and then use them in a cake, so we don't actually waste anything. I think it's a good thing. They're probably not just in a cake by themselves, but as part of some more fruit. So if there were some sultanas in there, and some cherries, and some candied orange peel, and maybe some other candied peels, probably very nice and probably complemented very well. Probably just a little bit too dry for a cake, but we'll see what it's like in a month. I'm still going to eat it. I mean, unfortunately now I'll just have to eat all this cake, won't I? But I'll wrap those two up and we'll see what it's like in a month or so. So, I want to dry some more oranges. I'm at work, the hot cupboard's on, so we might as well dry them in the hot cupboard while I'm here. I want to do segments this time, so I have segmented an orange. There's a video somewhere in my videos about how to segment an orange, but I kind of thought if you don't want to do that, you could just buy mandarin orange segments like those there. Just pick out the good ones and dry those out. We're going to see how they dry out, and then we'll end up seeing how they are in a cake that I'm going to make. But we'll just kind of see. I'm just kind of quite curious. Obviously, if you've got a dehydrator, you use the dehydrator. But I'm at work and I've got the hot cupboard, so I'm going to use the hot cupboard. Or you can use my other method, which is like on the top of a pan that's cooking on the top of the stove for like 3 or 4 hours. Just put them on the pan lid and they slowly dry out that way as well. So we'll see how they turn out. Alright, so these dried out some, not fully dried out yet. These ones are the tinned mandarin orange segments, and they've kind of gone to nothing. So let's discount them. I don't think buying tinned fruit and dehydrating them like that kind of works. Well, it does work, I just don't think it's worthwhile. And these are the segments. So that one's just about, that one is just about dried out as much as it's going to do. Those have still got a little bit further to go. So if we look at those, and then we look at these, so those two are slightly better, but I think we get a high yield. Look at those, look at those. I think we get a high yield if we don't segment them. So I don't think it's worth segmenting them. I think it's best off to do that, and I think it's probably because of the pith that's holding it all together. So you kind of get like what looks like a higher yield. So you don't need to segment them. I think that's just fine, and you don't taste that pith, so it doesn't kind of really matter. Yeah. Oh, mind you, no, that's another video that I'm making. But anyway, so I don't think it's worth it. You can do it, but I don't think it's worth it.